I think this is the ugly stage. There's nice texture now. Yeah, we did it. We made it work. You don't want to miss it, so come join me now. So yeah, come join me now. Hello everyone. Today we're going to turn our photos into art. We're going to create a masterpiece, or at least something we can consider artistic. At least that. Our video today is great for anybody who wants to include imagery or photography in their art, or someone who wants to create art but just like me, they can draw or sketch, or they just don't like that step, or they don't know where to start. Okay, so let's start now. Let the fun begin. Sometimes when I search online for art done with photography, I get either paintings that were painted from photos or some digital filters added to the photo to make it look more like a painting. And yeah, nothing is wrong with that, but obviously that's not what we're talking about today. What we are talking about today is how I use my photos in a way, actually a simple way, to turn them into something artistic on paper or wood or even canvas. I guess the best way to explain what we're going to do today is show you these. Hang on just a second. So I created this series of 5 with an urban or big cities theme in mind. They are on 16 by 20 canvases I had forever and decided it's about time to use them. So this is basically how I got the idea to create this series. And this one is part of an ongoing tree series. They are on 11 by 14 wood panels. So pretty much what we're looking at here are layers of handmade collage papers, a photo transfer, and acrylic paint on a wood board. And basically today we're going to have fun putting these layers together. We are going to start with attaching the painted collage papers onto the wood board. This is obviously going to be our background. But first, we should take a step back and see how these collage papers were made. So they are homemade painted tissue papers and quite easy and fun to make. There are a few ways to make them, but today I'll just quickly show you one way of making them, so this video doesn't get to be too long. I will have to make a video dedicated to making these collage papers one day. That was stupid. Now I have to clean it all up. It was fun for a second. All right, did it. So today I'm making the painted collage papers using an 8 by 10 gel printing plate. And I'm going to print or transfer these patterns and text, which I printed with my laser printer. And these are examples of the tissue paper you can use. I especially like this one, mainly because it's already cut onto 11 by 14 sheets. And as far as the paints go, I use different brands like Blake, Liquitex, and Grumbacher. I use a brayer and I simply spread the paints on the plate. Then I take one of the laser prints and press it face down onto the paint. And yeah, we got a good impression in the paint, which I'm going to lift into the tissue paper. As you can see, it's quite a fun process to do. And you can make your own unique collage papers. And if you don't want to create your own collage papers, you can definitely skip this step and use artist design papers or magazine clips and such. It's really not as critical what you're gonna use since it's just gonna be in the background. But honestly, it's so much more fun when you create your own painted papers.
I'm going to use this wood panel today, which I already primed with gesso. You don't have to use gesso, I just like to have a white background behind my collage. And I'm going to use matte medium to glue my collage papers down.
Okay, so now we're gonna let it dry, and while it's drying, let's choose the photo we're going to transfer.
So this is the photo we chose to transfer today. I took it in Santiago de Compostela in Spain. And I have to say I'm quite happy about the fact that I can take one of my photos and create something new and different.
I just like to take my photos I take while traveling, to just take them to another place. I like to find ways where my photos can be more than just a simple recording of reality. Photography is a great medium, but on its own, for me, it was always missing some artistic angle, something more creative. So I always try to use and display my photos in a different way. Nowadays, I focus on vivid colors. That's my thing nowadays.
For the image transfer, we're going again to use matte medium. By the way, I tested different matte mediums for image transfer. I tested Liquitex, Nova Color, and Golden Soft Gel Medium. And I found out that out of these three, Nova Color matte medium works the best. So since I was almost out of the matte medium, I visited their store, which is not too far from my home. And when I was there, I also got matte gel, which is different than the matte medium, mostly because it's more pasty and not as fluid as the matte medium. I already tested the matte gel for image transfer and transferred the photo to this square piece of wood, and it worked great. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Nova Color. I'm just sharing with you whatever works for me. Okay, so back to our video. I apply a good amount of the matte medium over the collage. It's important to apply full coverage, so I hold the wood panel against the light to make sure I didn't miss any area.
And if you like this process, you're going to love my book, the new mixed media photography book. It's available on Amazon, so make sure you check it out soon. And if you prefer the digital PDF version, check out the ebook. It's available for sale on my website, on my new website, nitsacreativestudio.com. So check it out soon.
Now we place the photo face down onto the wet matte medium and press it down to remove any air bubbles. I like to use the handle of my scissors to really press it down and create a good bond between the print and the surface. It's also a good idea to wipe off any extra medium for a clean transfer. Now we need to wait for just about 2 minutes, and I then use an artist knife to create a small scratch on the back. This will help me begin removing the top paper. I hope you can see that I'm only removing the top paper while making sure I don't remove the image.
After initially removing the top paper, I'm going to leave it alone for today, which is not easy for me to do. It's not easy at all. And let the transfer happen and take place. I will go back to it tomorrow. So see you then.
So now the fun of removing the rest of the paper begins. We're simply going to wet the back of the photo print with clean water and begin removing the paper. I also like to use artist knife to roughen the edges of the photo so it blends better with the background. Something else I like to use is a soft sponge, which again I make sure to rub lightly so I don't remove the image.
So now that all the paper is removed, the piece is ready to be painted. We will start painting tomorrow and see how it goes. To be honest, I'm not super happy with how it turned out so far. I think it's in the ugly stage, but I think it happened because I was impatient. I should have waited longer and let it dry in between trying to remove the paper. I should have waited a little longer, which I didn't do. I was very impatient. I wanted to finish it already. But I think it will be okay. We'll paint it tomorrow and see what happens. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Bye for now.
And while I'm painting, let me just say here that I don't really have any training in painting or any other form of art. The truth is that one day I picked up a few tubes of paint and thought it would be fun to use them in order to paint my photos and see what happens.
So I hope it inspires you to do the same. When you have an idea, just give it a try. You never know. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But when it does, it's really great. So yeah, give it a try. You have nothing to lose except for paint and other materials and your time and your effort and your patience and your self-esteem. Yeah, but other than that, you have nothing to lose. At this point, I really like it, but I think it's too flat and it's missing more texture or something. So tomorrow we will try adding more collage pieces or another layer of paint. I don't know, something. I'm gonna look at it and decide what it needs. Hopefully I'm not going to ruin it. That's the scary part about making art. But since I'm not fully happy with it right now, I guess I should continue and give it a try. I just feel like it's not there right now. So I have to go on. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so after looking at it today, I decided to add more collage papers on top of the painting. I think it will give it the texture that it's missing.
I definitely love it now. Art on wood. There's nice texture now. Okay, I think I like it now, but before I varnish it and completely seal it, I'm going to wait another day and look at it tomorrow again and decide if I'm done. It's always a good idea to look at it with fresh eyes. So meanwhile, I will paint the edges black, and I will also sign it on the back. Yes, so it seems like I still like it. I could have added more paint in some areas, but I think I won't. I'll just finish it and I'm done. So now I will finalize it and varnish it for posterity, for all the generations to come. I'm done. Done, and done.
I'm going to seal my artwork with this satin varnish. Quite often I like to use matte varnish as I'm not a big fan of the glossy glare. But I also enjoy the satin finish because it gives depth to the artwork, but without being too shiny.
I definitely like it now. It just was a photo, and now it's art on wood. So what do you do when you want to create art, something maybe like a painting, but unfortunately you can't draw? Does it mean you're not artistic and the door to creating art is locked forever? No, I don't think so. I used to think so because that's what I was told. But thankfully, I found out it was not true. I found out that art can be many different things, many processes, many ways of expression. I wrote about it in my book. At the end of the book, I included a short chapter with writings and tips. And one of the stories was about when I was little and I loved cutting and pasting, drawing, coloring. I even loved playing with clay. I have such great memories from kindergarten because of this. But in school, my art teachers made sure to let me know that I wasn't artistic at all. They said I have no creative bone in my body. And so over time, I became embarrassed of what I was creating and I just stopped creating. But yeah, later in life, way later in life, I discovered that art can be so many different things. And just because I never learned how to draw or develop this muscle doesn't mean I'm banned from the creative world forever. So yeah, this story has a happy ending. And I lived happily ever after. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video today and found it useful. I had a lot of fun turning one of my photos into something more creative. And I even like it, at least for now. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. All right. Now we're rolling. And okay, let's give it another try. Oops. And they don't know where to start, and I don't know where to continue. To make it look like, what we are talking about today is how I use my photos in a way. Nowadays, so bye. See you soon. Bye. Bye.